Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. Cristiano Ronaldo defended by Roy Keane. Roy Keane came out and said that he cares and players have done a lot worse at Man United. Roy Keane clashed with Gary Neville over Cristiano Ronaldo. Rio Ferdinand has also defended Ronaldo. Ronaldo was dropped from the Man United squad in the game against Chelsea, because obviously Ronaldo stormed down the tunnel before full time in Man United's 2-0 victory against Tottenham, and after that Erik ten Hag did say that he would deal with Cristiano Ronaldo. By the way, Ronaldo and Erik ten Hag are going to sit down for crunch talks today. Chelsea are interested in Ronaldo. Man United consider releasing Ronaldo on a free transfer. Ronaldo's contract at the club expires next year. There's an option of an additional year. He earns £480,000 a week. Manchester United re-signed Ronaldo from Juventus last year, so he has been in his second spell at Man United. But there has been quite a lot of games this season where Ronaldo hasn't started and Man United look a far superior team without him. Ronaldo, the last game he played was the 0-0 draw with Newcastle. He had a controversial goal ruled out. Ronaldo did score his 700th club goal in the 2-1 win against Everton at Goodison Park. Prior to that game though, it did say that Ronaldo was unhappy with Erik ten Hag's training sessions and style of play, and ten Hag mentioned a few weeks ago that Ronaldo's unhappy that he's not playing regularly. So that's the news on him. Now I want to give you some news regarding Raphael Varane. So Raphael Varane is likely to miss the first match of the World Cup. Varane picked up a thigh injury in the 1-1 draw with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Varane went off the pitch in tears. I don't think the injury is as severe as we all first thought. Varane had an injury earlier on this season. He is injury prone because he's had quite a lot of injuries since he became a Manchester United player. Varane's done very well in a lot of games this season. He plays very well alongside Lisandro Martinez in our back line. Manchester United did sign Raphael Varane from Real Madrid. As you all know, Manchester United recently drew 1-1 with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Casemiro scored a stoppage time header, so that rescued a point for Manchester United. It was Casemiro's first goal for the club, and it meant a lot to him, you could tell by the celebration. But Man United did deserve at least a point from that game. I thought Man United were very dominant in the game, especially in that first half, because Manchester United did have several chances. You know, Rashford had some good chances. Rashford's enjoying a very good season to his standards. He's having chances. He's just got to be more clinical in front of goal. Anthony had a couple of chances as well against Chelsea. Shaw had a chance. Luke Shaw, by the way, got the assist for Casemiro's late equaliser. Shaw's done well in recent games to his credibility. Chelsea, their goal came from a Jorginho penalty. Chelsea got the penalty because Scott McTominay brought down Armando Broja in the 6-yard box. That's whilst the corner was played in. After the game, it did mention that Erik ten Hag praised his players' spirit. And the Chelsea manager Graham Potter even mentioned that probably a draw was a fair result in the end. But he's on the other side of things, he has admitted there's still lots of work to be done. Man United are unbeaten in the last 7 games against Chelsea now at Stamford Bridge. Manchester United's next game is FC Sheriff in the Europa League. Man United's next league game is West Ham. Erik ten Hag, though, I think he's doing a good job as Manchester United manager. There has been games this season where I do like the way he's approached them. There has been games as well where he has got some decisions wrong, but I've not once prejudged ten Hag since he came in. You know, Man United did endure a terrible start to the season. We lost our first 2 league games, but since then, you know, Man United have really bounced back. You know, Erik ten Hag does need time at Manchester United. You know, this is his first full season as Manchester United manager. You know, he knew when he'd taken over the reins at Man United that he had big expectations to exceed. You know, if ten Hag can get Manchester United a top 4 finish this season, I'd underline that and say, yeah, that's a good first full season. Then you'd obviously build from that. Man United are in this top 4 race. We're not like 5th in the Premier League now, or 6th. Yeah, if he was to win a trophy this season, that would be remarkable. You know, Man United have not won a domestic trophy since 2017. Revert back to when ten Hag was at Ajax, he did very well because he won Eredivisie titles, he won Dutch Cups, and revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals and he developed the young players well. But the Premier League is totally different to the Dutch League. Erik ten Hag replaced Ralf Rangnick earlier on this year. He's under contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of an additional year. He's Manchester United's 5th permanent manager since Sir Alex Ferguson. Don't forget, not so long ago, ten Hag got named Premier League Manager of the Month. He did recommend Mitchell van der Gaag and Steve McLaren in. They've been working alongside Erik ten Hag. Also at Man United, we've got Benny McCarthy, John Murtough, Richard Arnold. Earlier on this year, Sir Alex Ferguson came back to Man United in an advisory role. And of course, the Glazers are still at Manchester United. And like I've said for a long time, Man United fans have been protesting against the Glazers. They've been a massive problem at the club for so many years now. They've owned the club since 2005. The other week, it said that the Glazers had set a price to consider selling the club, and that was 9 billion. Well, Sir Jim Ratcliffe did come out, didn't he, and say that the Glazers don't want to sell Man United, because Sir Jim Ratcliffe did admit he would have bought Man United this summer if the club had been up for sale. In January, I'm expecting Man United to make a couple of more signings. Earlier on this year, don't forget, Erik ten Hag revealed his transfer plans for January. He said Man United would continue to hold meetings over strengthening the squad. Ten Hag's going to get a transfer budget of around 70 million. He's made 6 signings so far, hasn't he, as Man United manager? You know, he recommended Terrell Malacia in, Christian Eriksen, Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, Antony and Martin Dubravka. Man United have spent over 200 million this year. He's also let players go as well. You know, look at the players that have left the club this year. Lingard went on a free transfer to Nottingham Forest. Dean Henderson went out on loan to Nottingham Forest. Lee Grant left earlier on this year. Tellez went out on loan to Sevilla. Eric Bailly went out on loan to Marseille. And I think we'll get rid of Tellez and Bailly permanently. We sold Andres Pereira. We sold James Garner. Matic and Pogba both left on free transfers. Hannibal Mejbri went out on loan. Amad Diallo Traore went out on loan. Ethan Laird went out on loan. We let Mata and Cavani both leave on free transfers. So they are a lot of the players that have left the club this year, and certainly more players will be leaving Manchester United next year. Like I said, there's a very good chance that Cristiano Ronaldo will be leaving. Harry Maguire should be leaving next year because he doesn't get in the team now following the arrival of Lisandro Martinez. Maguire wouldn't even get in the team when Varane's injured, and Varane's injured at the moment. You know, if Varane's not available, we'll play Lindelof ahead of Varane. Maguire has been out of injury anyway. Man United overpaid for him, got him for 80 million. Don't forget last season, the vast majority of Man United fans were demanding for the captaincy to be taken off Maguire. Phil Jones, I reckon he'll be going next year. Tuanzebe will be leaving next year. Last season he was out on loan with Villa. He's enjoyed 3 loan spells with Villa. Lindelof, though, could possibly leave the club next year. No longer one of our first choice centre-halves. He's been not one of our first choice centre-halves since Raphael Varane came in, like I've mentioned before. But he can play well when he plays, Lindelof. Most of his appearances now come from the bench. Like I said, I think we'll get rid of Bailly and Tellez permanently. And Wan-Bissaka, there's a very good chance he'll be departing the club in January. Because he can't get in the team, can he? Because Diego Dalot is our first choice right back. Dalot's featuring every game this season. In a lot of games, he's been very impressive to his credit. Bissaka, he's injured or he's been out with injury anyway, so he hasn't been able to play. Do you think Fred could possibly leave the club next year? I think Fred can be good when he wants to be. You know, he proven that in the 2-0 win against Tottenham. You know, he scored Man United's first goal. It did take a deflection off Ben Davies, so you can say it was a bit fortuitous. Fred still starts games, even though Man United brought Casemiro and Christian Eriksen in. You know, a few times now, Fred's played alongside Casemiro in the centre midfield. Scott McTominay, he could possibly leave next year. He doesn't get a lot of starts now. He sometimes starts though. McTominay, of course, came on against Chelsea, gave the penalty away. He didn't play in the 0-0 draw with Newcastle because he was suspended, wasn't he? Don't forget he scored in the 93rd minute of stoppage time in Man United's 1-0 win against Ammonia Nicosia. So Scott McTominay in that game saved Man United from humiliation. David De Gea, as you all know, his future is in doubt. Don't forget, like I updated you not so long ago, it said Erik ten Hag was delaying contract decisions on De Gea and Marcus Rashford. De Gea's contract at Man United expires next year. There's an option of an additional year. He earns around £375,000 a week. De Gea, of course, has been a long-serving player. He's enjoyed around 11 years or so at Man United. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. He is Man United's #1 goalkeeper. And Rashford, his contract expires next year. There's an option of an additional year. I hope Rashford stays next year because I think he's been very impressive this season. Martial, I think we could get rid of him next year. Martial's had quite a few injuries this season, so obviously he's missed quite a lot of games. Last season, Martial was out on loan with Sevilla. He's under contract with Man United until 2024. Martial's been at the club for a good 7 years or so now. Manchester United did get him from Monaco. And Brandon Williams, I reckon he'll be departing the club next year. Don't get in the team. Last season, he was out on loan with Norwich. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel if you do. Consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.